Ready? Do me a favor. You flip that once. Now, remember, you're all a big part of the show, so the better you are, the better Larry is. Okay, you see this gentleman? Now, he's giving me this sign, and it says, we're on in 10 seconds, so get ready to have a good time. All right, here we go. This is exciting, isn't it?
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Red room! Fuck the music! We don't need the music! We make our own music! Thank you for coming out! It's subversive, it's avant-garde. We're listening to Gary Shanley interviewing me TV legends. My YouTube screwed up. Thank you all for coming out! Let's have a big round of applause. KGB, Easy Paradise Open Mic Monday. Thank you all, I'm Matt Proctor, I'll be your host. We've got great comedians, we've got great poets. We've got the hottest show in New York City. Thank you all for coming out. I mean, it's building every week. We've got Jason Tractenberg, we've got, Broadway's legends. We've got, the stars from SNL and Extra and Access Hollywood. And Taylor Swift might drop in, who knows? I've been listening to Midnights. I don't know about you. Happy birthday, Midnights. Let me just lay down the ground rules a little bit before we get started. There is a 2-drink minimum, so please try to obey that. And we'll probably take a break, about 2 hours, 2 hours 15 in, maybe give people a chance to refresh their drinks, but there is a 2-drink minimum. Also, 5 minutes per performer. I'll time the comedians, songwriters, it's kind of a vague zone, but you just vibe it out. It's all about vibes here at KGB Open Mic Monday. So, thank you all for coming. Is there anything else I need to say? No, I'm just going to kick things off by reading a little poem that I do a cosmopolitan micro-diary, so I thought I would read the living newspaper of my week and share part of my life with you and bring the real world onto the stage. If you want to sign up for next week or this week or anything, DM Easy Paradise Mag on Instagram. You can sign up for next week. Slide into the DMs. I'll put you on the list. We'll make magic. It's magic here. It's magic here in the East Village. We're in a nexus of social energy. I met this girl who was a tour guide. She was telling me this building used to be Lucky Luciano's gambling parlor. So that's pretty outlawish and cool and clandestine. And also Emma Goldman would print subversive socialist literature from here. So that's the locus solus we're in energetically right now. So we're going to conjure some of that energy tonight. I'm going to kick things off here. This is 1022 Gramercy Spire. New York is too uptight. But I like the seriousness in buildings, waiting around in them, not invited to the party, or invited to one party but not the other. If you're wondering if I'd have sex with you, the answer is yes. She hands me a napkin filled with heart-shaped cookies. You can taste the butter. Please shut it off, it hurts our face. Should we take care for a wit? We want to be the Food and Drug Administration. Who would talk about it? No one's in charge of me but me. Don Yorty says he's been wiping Bernadette Mayer's ass and cleaning up her vomit. Sometimes it's better to just drop dead. He's been teaching a class on how to speak English. He could never do one of those MRI programs. The Meso abortionist. David Henderson says Bob Kaufman was supposed to be the flower thief, but they recast with Taylor Mead. Clando's not the same. People who used to go to Clando don't go there anymore. The neighborhood belongs to different people on the weekends. New York City on a budget, making it work. Said something about Ishmael Reed, but I can't remember what. Paid $6.52 for 4 AA batteries at Sheen Brothers Deli, 10th and B. Putting her ass in a Singapore sling. Not enough stroke. This is a message to the human race from aliens. Should I go get a piece of pizza? There's too much cranberry sauce. The size of things makes people fit. everybody should get to see it for free. And we're here to do it for free tonight. So we're going to get it started. Thank you all for coming out once again to the Easy Paradise Open Mic Monday. We're going to get everybody up. We've got singers, dancers, comedians, poets, philosophers, everything you could possibly imagine. Outsider artists, avant-gardists, traditionalists, folkies, beatniks, Gen Z, I want Gen Z, TikTok superstars, TikTok celebrities. And we're going to bring up, we got a very special honored guest here to kick off our open mic. I've got his book, get a copy of his book if you get the chance. The great poet, the editor of The Burning Palace. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge KGB open mic welcome for Mr. William Pedlow.
What's up? I go by Billy. He said William because my book came out as William, my first book. I Hate When You're Drunk and I'm Not, which I recommend getting. It's really good. I'm actually filming a movie tonight, so it's kind of a crazy night for me. So I'm looking for a girl for a role. So it's a very small role. So if you're interested in that, come up to me at the end of the night. It's a very small role. Anyway, I'm serious about that. Everybody thinks I joke about everything. This is all very serious. I'll read some poems. So this is a poem. I was sick for a time and I had to quit my old friends. Coffee, weed, cigarettes, drink. I was in double sickness to be sure, from the withdrawals. And it was in those moments that I felt most keenly the benefit of the wobble. You know, the oscillation. The world turns absurdly like an egg, etc. The push and pull. To be sure, the soul of the body is health. And when the spirit is strong, well, it doesn't seem right. But when I'm sick or not well, death, it really seems not so bad. I was heartened even to feel that my inevitable enemy, who I've grown so much to fear, might on his appointed visit not be so menacing to me at all when he draws me close, that he might even arrive as a friend. And so when my strength began to return, and I had a fantasy that I would return with a double passion, now freed of this ancient curse, in fact, my spirit was actually blooming, and I dived into the warm embrace of my old drugs. And far from dousing my embers, those old friends fueled a passion hotter than I'd ever known. I felt life, I felt alive. I felt life was only a metaphor for living. To be sure, I was certain it was real. It was real, my dream. Luxurious real, with its delicious stress. I sparked alive, and I thought of her. I was real because she wanted me, somewhere not so far away, in the sense of push and pull. Her desire for me made me feel immortal. In the Indian summer of my passions, I became the archetype of the lover. Even my sense, I am told, changed. My smell, the desire for games disappeared. Music seemed to me a poisonous enchantment. I wanted only one thing, the color red. As metaphors go, one life was not enough. I demanded a double life. I extended my hand, palm upward, and a smaller hand entered mine, and it was hers. Oh, gorgeous life. Could it be possible that I stand to lose it all? To be sure, existence is communicating in the language of energy, that I am right now the flower of my wandering, and that I am even to be afforded a few poisons to liven up my journey. Why should I not say Hosanna, believing as I do in no more than a possible friend? Hosanna, it spills over the top of me. Hosanna to be desired by her. Hosanna to be living. So I'm pretty good, how about you? Oh, and here's her coffee. I don't normally write like very formal like that, but I you know, you can see the conceit now. But anyway, these are very short poems. Sort of, I'm working on like sort of shock poetry these days. No answer, don't worry, we're not going all the way. I kept it dialed down. So this one is I want to name your pussy. Sapphire Lumberyard Schizo Libido. The Chinese massage parlor at the end of the universe.
Yeah.
The mind is for having thoughts, not for holding them. And this last one. Nipple in freezing cold winter. Thank you very much. On Wednesday, I'm hosting a reading. It's the Burning Palace reading. It's at the Black Springs bookstore. So let me know if you want to come.
Billy Pedlow, everybody. Check out the Burning Palace on Instagram and go to the reading on Wednesday. Black Spring Books. Great stuff. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. Can we get one of our favorite acts here, Jason Tractenberg? Let's get Jason Tractenberg up here. He's got a new release coming out.
Yes, it's out. Thank you. Hey, wow, thanks. I really look forward to this mic each I would say each and every Monday, probably every other Monday. But no, thank you. Hey, real quick, I have a brand new CD out called I Really Love You Tonight. It's a CD single of the song that I'm going to do tonight called I Really Love You Tonight. It's a CD single with 15 bonus tracks on it. So, thank you. So let me know about that. They're like $5 or whatever. Or just let me know. And also we're having our CD release show, my full band, this Thursday at Young Ethel's, a club that Matt knows very well, apparently. Oh, actually, yeah. I was gonna. Just tiny bit, like right about there. Right there. You go a little lower? That's right. Go a little bit higher, lower. No, it's all right. This is great. This is great. So I'm gonna do for you one song tonight. It's called I Really Love You Tonight. True story. All she lives for is conversation. Darling, gonna make a sacrifice to persuade by some persuasion. All you live by is intuition. Gonna make it through this calendar year, then I get a premonition. I really love you tonight. I really love you tonight. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. I really need you right now. I really need you. Wow, I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. Sometimes I don't get through that. Here we go, next verse. Alls I know are complications. Village idiots manifest manifestations. Where's my liberty? And where's my apparent heir? Got a little bit of light there to see who will be my true torch bearer. I really love you tonight. I really love you tonight. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. I really need you right now. I really need you. Wow, I really love you. I love you. I really love you too. I wrote this down tonight. I need to let you know. Reality was tight, a little bit unknown. There was an empty space inside. I thought about the past and what I left behind. That's right, next time I'll live until and occasions. Rabbits going down the rabbit hole, see actualized actualizations. I really love you tonight, I really love you tonight. I got a big surprise, I whispered in your eyes. There was a fancy feast, what's left to realize? Why did you get yourself into a meeting of the minds? That's all there's left to do. That's right. Next time I'll live until I die. I really love you tonight. I really love you tonight. I really love you. I love you. I really love you tonight. I really need you right now. I really need you. Wow, I really love you. I love you. I really love you. I really, 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 like a big stadium ending. Stadium rock. I really love you tonight. Something like that. Okay. Real quick. I remember, don't worry, I remember. Wednesday at 12 noon, as in Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Los Angeles time, my world premiere video directed by Luke Herbs. Luke Herberman in the front row. He's well known around here, I do understand that. Did the directing and co-starred in it as well too. A music video for the song called Why. It's like a 1960s boy band motif. And world premieres noon on Wednesday, directed by my main man Luke. Thank you. Good, my main man, Matt Proctor, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Jason Tractenberg, I really love you tonight.
Single, 15 bonus tracks.
The single with 15, get
Get an
it?
extra one, get extra. Here.
See Jason Tractenberg. Did you say Fancy Feast in that song?
There's a Fancy Feast. That's the name of the burlesque dancer, Fancy Feast.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
I thought it was the cat food you were referencing.
Oh, she's a burlesque dancer.
Fancy Feast. My cat loves Fancy Feast. It's delicious. It's classy. It's like got gravy on it and stuff. Seafood. Okay, we're gonna keep it rolling. Is there Eva Swiecki? Eva Swiecki. Oh yes.
It's actually Eva, but pretty close. I'm not going to look anyone in the eye because I'm not brave enough yet. I have some poems. I'm going to read 2, and then I might read a little bit of something else that I wrote today. This one is called Next Time Can We Name the Whale? I watched dust accumulate, then wiped it clean. The entire audience roared. I walked off stage and into my bedroom. It took 2 years. I waited for a lover to become a lover. It was like staring at the sun for too long, spending on steak only to let it go bad, smoking every cigarette down to its tar, thinking of something else while looking at a flower. Television and more television and everything I can't put in a poem. An empty room, light illuminating just half of a tree, like being the only one on the boat who spots a whale. They all turn their heads too late. That's the first one.
Yeah.
This one is called Baby of the Family. My mother plans to drop off cold cuts after asking about my situation. She won't be here for a couple of hours. No one will. So I remove my clothes and spend the time walking from one end of the apartment to the other, measuring where exactly in the house is coldest, where exactly on my body I get chills. I do this for no reason at all, but I acknowledge my plan's birth as a moment containing something special, and I've intended that this will be how I spend the waiting. But somewhere during the second go, I am caught off guard by the east side windows and the view in the evenings. And it reminds me of back when I was still Polish, when my sister and I voyaged through woods to the fort we built. Not too far in, there where we'd lay in the dirt, stack leaves and fight each other with sticks, we dreamt up our future selves. Gabriela playing mom, rolling up her sleeves to start dinner. Me playing star, eager to climb on stage to begin an impromptu ballad, and then I remember I am standing naked at the windows. And then this is a new thing. Normally I write poems, but this is not a poem. I don't know what it is yet. So I'll just read the beginning. It's called Being Bad and Hiding Stuff. I'll explain how it started. At 6 years old, my father left me alone sitting on the kitchen counter. I don't remember why he left the room. I'm sure it was an arbitrary reason, like my mother called his name or he was ready to turn on the TV and watch hockey. It was an ordinary night, how every night when you're a kid at home is ordinary. My mother had been cooking soup earlier that night and the house smelled like warm tomatoes. I thought that was gross. I had on green tights and my school shirt, and for the last 10 minutes I had been playing with the counter drawer using my feet. I'd slide my toes under the handle and extend my legs back and forth, pulling the drawer open and close. I watched as the contents of the drawer would appear and then vanish with every movement. I liked that I could make something be there and then suddenly not. It felt like closing my eyes and not knowing what I'd see when I opened them up again. Inside lay kitchen utensils and an array of miscellaneous stuff. Restaurant brochures, a wine cork, scotch tape, a handheld lighter, and I admit that after every appearance of the kitchen lighter, I grew more curious about it. That's a stupid ending. That's it.
Thank you.
That's swiecki, everybody. Thank you so much. It was beautiful. Thanks for sharing. All right, do we have Matilda Lynn Burke in the house? Can we get Matilda Lynn Burke up here?
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Matilda. I'm going to be reading a few poems. I have not read poetry in quite a long time actually. So this first one is Star Witness, named after the Naval Case song. I rationed out the Russian novelists for something like Transcendence or for Time. And meanwhile, luckier people puttered on beyond the vacuum as their capsule fell to atmospheric levels and then back to an unpleasant world. Back nonetheless. Elaine fell back in love. Things never changed. Jen met her husband in the grocery line. Anne lost something. Something she wanted back. Something that she never really had. But I'm still up here, embryonic, fetal, orbiting in galactic utero. I'm in it now. The biggest plastic bag, the waiting room, the September roll call. Jen and Elaine moved in, redecorated, hung up their snowshoes on the foyer walls. Anne summered in the hot back seats of cars or underneath her du jour fuck me daddy. And from above I watched, jellied in place, formaldehyded, playing at self-control. A cow eye floating in a cosmic char. A specimen in a box some kid forgot to punch a couple holes in. I don't mind. I've got the space. I've got... what's that? Oh, time. I'll wait around for your approval. The world is very tiny, very blue. This next poem is called On Invertebrates and Vertebrates, and it's after Anne Sexton. Over homework, natural history went back and forth. We watched French films online and slept through church. You told me that you dreamt about my mouth. God crept in, the crab meandered out. I woke up wholly baffled by the day, under my tongue, the scuttling lineage of decay that earlier had colonized my bed. I fell into the snow, not me, the person left. The deity in my throat recoiling yearned to be a little more crustacean, armored, adored. Here in wintry Wellesley, people say that one can find real crabs, real men, real graves. Once I loved a textbook diagram of dinosaurs and ancient fruits and mammals, a history of the world in miniature, which my dad let loose from its hardcovers at bedtime. I'd ask you what you think regarding love, but you'd say, I think this is enough. And I really should have ended with that one because that's like a funny ending one. But the last poem that I'm reading tonight is called Story. The poor wandering poet mourns his wife, not dead but dying and half left behind. It's easy to leave when you're leaving alive. He cries great tree-sap tears, but he still leaves. What could I do, he says, nymphs, cry for me. Meanwhile, his good friend eats the heart of a deer. He can, since he paid for it, and since it's there. I keep my sadness at a distance. These are things that happen. Someone loses, someone wins. The poet mourns, yes, but his lover dies. The hunter, he returns to play the scene with a new friend, now the striptease of routine. I try to make it new, with disco scions, crustaceans, and you. A new prehistory of what will come, it will. The future, resinous, I'm closing in the hoof prints of a faithful rhyme, the cruel collusion of language and time. At my request, at the lobster's behest, that Russian story transmigrated west. And where are you? You might find yourself here, encased in amber, the abandoner. Thank you.
Matilda Burke, everybody. Thank you. Come back, definitely. And can we find that online anywhere?
No, none of those are.
No. Well, thank you. Please come back. Definitely. It was wonderful. All right, we're going to get some comedy going. Can we get a big round of applause for Ann Van Epps, everybody? Are you all set? All right, we're filming here. We're going to go live. So bear with us. But do you run an open mic? You have an open mic, don't you?
Not right now.
Not right now.
I just got back from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I was living in a haunted house.
Oh my God, how appropriate. How seasonally... What was haunted about it?
It was full of ghosts. I mean...
Oh my God. You survived.
Yeah.
What were you doing there? Work or...?
I had a humor residency.
Oh.
For women.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you say humor residence?
Yeah, residency.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. In the haunted house. All right, here we go. That is beautiful. Brought the tripod. See, comedians, poets need, see what the comedians are doing? Do you see what the comedians are doing? Do you see the commitment? I guarantee you this is going on TikTok. This is going on Instagram Moments.
Okay, all right.
So the bar has been raised, everybody. Ann Van Epps.
Hey guys, so I was walking down the street and I heard this screaming. It was like this cacophony of screams. And I'm like, what's that annoying sound? And I look over and there are a bunch of children playing. And I was like, I guess I forgot what happiness sounds like. Are you guys having fun?
Yes.
My cat just died. And she lived for about 15 to 17 years. And we just got her ashes back. And my mom wants to sprinkle her in the woods. But I just want to sprinkle her in my coffee so we can spend the day together. And then at the end of the day, I'll go into the bathroom where I'll either pee or poop her out. I'm not really sure how ashes work. Or how the digestive system works. Or how ghosts work. You guys, so when I first moved to New York, I was a lot fatter. Oh my God, Ann, you've lost so much weight. Oh my God, thank you so much. And I was walking around, and I had a bigger butt then. And I was walking around the city and it felt like there was newspaper on my back. And I checked it and guess what I found? Nothing. I was so confused. So when I got home, I reached under my pants and guess what I found? Absolutely nothing. What? What? So then I separated my butt cheeks and I pulled out an entire lettuce leaf. And it was brown. Because it had gone through my body. It was like slippy slidey through my body. It must have been kale because it was pretty sturdy. The craziest thing is this isn't the first time this has happened. Another time an entire raisin popped out. But you guys, I don't eat raisins. So it must have been a grape going in. Okay, anyway, so you guys, I recently cleaned out my belly button, thanks, and it was just full of shortbread cookie crumbs. And it was really weird, when I pulled up on my belly button, I could feel it in my vagina. Has that happened to other women here? Or maybe I just have like an untreated medical condition. But I was thinking about it, like, men, when you clean out your belly button, can you feel it in your penis? Because if you can, well, you can try it now, like, just be discreet about it and tell me, oh no, later, or now, or whatever. And I'm just like, that would be a really good way to feel yourself up in public without anyone noticing. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but lately I've noticed men in New York with just their hand in their pants, not discreet at all. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, nipple season's over, right? You guys know when you meet a guy online, right? And then you have plans to meet him up in person, and you and your friends, your go-to thing to say is, don't get murdered, right? Like, why do we say that? You know, like, I don't know if you know this, but murdering's a lot of work, and like, men just don't have it in them. Right, guys out there?
I don't know, it's pretty easy.
Guys, red flag. Before I get out of here, you guys, I just wanted you to know, I have a six pack now, and it's because I have ADD, all day diarrhea. Okay, that makes me laugh, whatever. You guys, my name's Dan Van Apps, thank you.
Van Apps, everybody. Bring the candor. Candor kills paranoia. All right, let's keep it going. Britney Ledesma. Can we get Britney Ledesma up here? With a big round of applause.
Hey, how are y'all? Okay. I'm visiting from Texas right now. I'm here to have an abortion. No, I'm not. I actually booked my flight on Spirit, so I think I'm good, you know? No, I'm here to talk about love. Am I right, my dudes? The last guy I dated, he was a car guy. Like, you know, the type, like, he lived in one. Yeah, he also had erectile dysfunction and cheated on me a lot because I'm the loser. And I just think cheating when you can't even get hard, it just feels more personal. You know? Like, what are you doing? Just like draping your soft serve dick over pussy?
Oh my god.
He told me it hurt him more than it hurt me, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, I bet, like, physically speaking, that sounds like that's a really painful thing for you to do, you know? Must be like shoving toothpaste back in the tube, ew. Yeah, poor guy, though, he also had car trouble, so he couldn't come or go. Yeah. I posted this joke online, and it did pretty well, but a lot of people commented, they were like, poor girl, she doesn't realize he can get hard, just not around her. I know, and I'm like, I know it wasn't me, because I do the same thing every girl does when she needs a guy to get hard. I put my hand on his inner thigh, whisper in his ears, get fucking hard! Do it now! So I don't see what the problem was, you know? I have a gay roommate, and I feel bad for him because living with me has given him the girlfriend experience he's never wanted. Yeah, we'll sit on the couch and watch Netflix together, and I like to play the game of, are we okay? He'll be cooking dinner, ask if I want any, I say no. Then I proceed to eat all his food, and he's like, I would have made you some food if you would have asked. I was like, well, you should have known 30 minutes later I could have been hungry. Sounds like self-sabotage, buddy. No. We'll go out to eat together, and he's kind of bigger, so I'm always just like, but your cholesterol. Basic relationship stuff. The thing is, people think we're dating a lot, and he if you don't know he's gay, you're just like, this is some gross white man, you know? Like, if he wasn't gay, he'd be gross. He's like this big sloppy guy, and they think I'm dating him. I'm like, oh my god, you must think I'm such a nice person. That's so kind of you. I'm not. What else did I want to try? Oh, I was at the airport the other day, and I used the bathroom there, as we do, you know. I walk out the stall, and this girl walked into my stall, and I was so honored. You know? Like, I was like, oh my god, she could have used any other stall. There were others open. She was like, wow, this girl is clean. I'm not, but she assumed wrong. I don't know. That really, I wanted to like pat myself on the back. I was like, hell yeah, I didn't even touch that seat. I just hovered, lady. She knew it. Okay, what else did I want to try tonight? Do we know what fuckboys are? I feel like
Yes,
that's
I
what,
have a
yeah.
whole play about them.
A whole play about
It's
fuckboys?
called the Fuckboy Chronicles.
That's incredible. Written from the perspective of a male. Love it. No, the Fuckboy Chronicles, that sounds interesting. That's kind of like my life. That's my rotation right now. I don't mind fuckboys. I think fuckboys are fine, you know? Like, I'm okay with them as long as, like, they're attractive, they're good at fucking. I know they're meant for the streets. I'm not trying to tame an ostrich. Do your thing. You know, but what pisses me off are fuckboys that aren't good at fucking. That's just false advertisement, man. That's like hiring an accountant that's bad at math. Go back to school and learn something. Ask your mother for help. I don't... That's where I'm at. If you're bad at having sex, don't do it. Thank you!
Yeah! We need fuckboys.
Ledesma, defending the fuckboy, a controversial choice, but it's open mic. You can do whatever you want. You can defend fuckboys if you want. Are you doing any other shows in New York, or?
Yeah.
You're here from out of town?
Yeah.
I love putting on people from out of town, by the way. I have a soft spot. I want to get people up in front of New York audiences. So, do you have any other shows, or?
I have a couple in Brooklyn this week.
Okay, see Britney Ledesma afterwards for the couple of shows in Brooklyn. All right, let's keep it going. Big round of applause for our next artist, because that's what we are. Let's have a big round of applause for Wes Civilz, everybody. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. I didn't miss my slide. No, this moment, I was signed up for this.
Hey guys, I signed you up, bro!
Try something. Yeah, alright. Alright.
Yeah! Let's go! Visiting from out of town!
Yeah, I'm out of town, so
All right.
that counts. Tucson, Arizona.
Right.
All right. This is literally, I'm literally the, this isn't an act, I'm trying to find something to read. Actually, I got a poem about Arizona, which I'm sure you guys would love. All right, this is probably good for an open mic. That was totally fucking mind-blowing. Not being signed up and that's what it reads. All right, so, yeah, I'm from Tucson, Arizona. This is called Come Back to Arizona. I've been living in New Hampshire for a bit during COVID, so I wrote this. All right. Come back to Arizona. You're gonna die, I'm gonna die. Yes, you are gonna die and I am gonna die, so come back, my love. Now to Arizona. Come back to Arizona where I will have a lemonade stand up and running before you arrive. All day here in the great western desert, we will sell lemonade together. We will sell it all weekend long, in the nude. We even will have sex while we sell it. But listen, no one will get mad. But listen, we will live as if in an alternate world where no one will get furious, no one will claim obscenity, no one will say the local children were damaged by the outrageous sight of our love. A policeman will arrive, but just to buy lemonade. Every day in Arizona, I'll pull your clothes from you like an ear of corn shucked. We will make babies, hundreds of babies, could be thousands. They will sprout from the river plain of your impossible body, already walking and talking. Some will die. Some will rule the world. You will be hypnotically fat. You'll be a mountain topped with cool snow, gazed at from the hot summer day below. I will assume a lesser role. I will admire from afar. I will be a pond in the valley, gazing up shyly at you. You, the avalanche. You, the thunder and voluptuous stone. Thank you.
That's civilz, everybody. Let's pulling it out of the hat. You never know, you might be forced to perform. We will come for you. No one is safe. And it's great. You feel better afterwards. It's therapeutic. It's cathartic. Thank you for sharing that. Wonderful. From Tucson, West Civilz. Okay, do we have a Cameron Saltman here? Cameron Saltman in the house? All right. Maybe next time. Hopefully next time Cameron Saltman will come out. It's too bad. What about Kate Hickey? Kate Hickey? All right. Let's have a big round of applause for our next act. Kate Hickey, everybody.
Thank you so much for that fairy music. I have to film this for a grant. I want $50,000 to make this play. And I will be playing both characters. This isn't a hot show. So hopefully my goal is to make them distinct enough that you guys will understand a little bit of what's going on. All right, the play is called Sedona. It's about how the internet's destroying us. But this is the beginning of it. And, all right, Act 1, Scene 1. Dot, 70s, an Irish-American old-school woman who's dying of cancer, and her daughter, Nikki, 30s, a frazzled burnout, trying desperately to be sober, have just returned home from a horrible oncology appointment. Dot. My organs feel like they're being pushed out of me. I told you it takes 2 hours to get back in this traffic. I'm done, Nikki. What do you mean done? I'm just gonna let it eat me. Huh? The cancer. It's eating me from the inside out. I'll just let it. I'm not spending my last days being drained and robbed. Alexis, play Beyond the Sea. This girl leaves me all alone. Mom, you're not. If I'm gonna talk to myself alone in the house, at least have it be a man. Tammy has the Google man, and she made him Australian, so please do something like that for me. Watch. Alexis! Hello! See, she's a bitch. Who's Tammy? The Fletchers! Oh, right. Sorry, I knew that. And Mom, you don't have to ask it nicely. She's it. She's the internet. You have internet. I set it up for you. You're saying the wrong name. It's not Alexis, it's Alexa. I can't connect to your Wi-Fi network. You can find setup instructions in the help section of your Alexa app. Off, Alexa, off. Did she say the app? I don't have the app. I don't want the app. Can you? I I think I want the other one, the Google man. Give me your phone. Oh, you know what it is. Alexis was the name of my cousin who drowned when we were young. What was the password we did for the router in your room? Over a year ago. Yeah. I don't remember. I've been using Tammy's internet. They renovated the whole upstairs. New kitchen, everything stainless steel. That will be good for you after I'm gone. You can rent out the second floor and live downstairs. They're good tenants. Or sell the whole thing. I'm on my way out. I don't like when you say stuff like that. She said their internet is faster than the one you did. She said you did the slowest one. I did the cheapest one because you said you wanted the cheapest one. Dennis helps me redo it whenever I undo it. Huh? I log out when I'm done. You don't need to do that. I don't want it plugged in all the time. It freaks me out. I just like to snoop around on Facebook a little, see how stupid everyone looks, then log out! Then I have a hard time logging back on. You have Facebook? I use Dad's. Did you know Daddy was in about a dozen bird-watching groups? The man never bird-watched. You know, a record player was just fine and it felt warm. You could really feel the music. I don't want to be calling out into the air for the rest of my days like some weirdo. You can't see it or touch it. What's it doing? I'm dying. A cigarette is fine. I don't think you really listened to anything that Dr. Kushner said. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but he was telling you stuff you really need to know. Oh, I do. Mom, what? We should sit down and really talk about your options. I promise you'll be in total control. Did you see the penguins? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did too. And you know, I just think that if I were telling people whether they were living or dying, that I would try to wear professional socks. I paid 30 grand for some scans, and this oncologist, one was wearing ice skates, one had a little scarf, winter penguins. I like penguins, I really do. Who doesn't? It's just a little distracting for me. I just think that I deserve to hear the news about my cancer from an adult socked individual. That's all I'm saying, don't you? Yeah, Mom. I have 6 weeks to live and I'm looking at smiling penguins. It insults me. He seems like a good guy or whatever. I'm sure he didn't wear the socks to be an asshole. He was so tan and he had such white teeth. They were alarming. He said he goes to Cabo 8 times a year. Of course. Come on, be a little snarky with me. You want to know what pissed me off? Yes. When we were sitting there waiting for him to come back in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch the way he comes in, you know, to see if things are good or bad, the way he opens the door, the look on his face, and his general vibe. And he came in, like, smiling. And I was like, this is gonna be great. And then he said, I'm sorry to say I don't have good news. Like, what the fuck was all that? With the smiling and entering. All right, thanks.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Get that grant money.
Yeah!
That's what it's all about. So honored that you did that here. To get that grant. And actors, please, playwrights, come do your monologues. Come do performance art here. We want all lyrical forms to run together. So let's have another hand for Kate Hickey, everybody. An easy Paradise Open Mic Monday. 5-minute time limit. You can sign up online. Can we get Mary durocher up here? Mary durocher, everybody.
Hi. I'm just a poet, so I just have one poem.
I wrote it back in August. At noon, we biked to the farm stand outside of Harwich to get cherry tomatoes. Old Mansbeard flourished in tangles on the tree's weather-beaten limbs. We rushed by a family with a toddler wobbling on training wheels. I pedaled too hard. I even passed by you. You whispered to me while slipping the tiny fruit into my backpack that at the restaurant where you once fried clams and cod, your boss would smuggle farm stand tomatoes and resell them as his own. A woman wearing a turquoise bandana waved to us as we darted off. Burst tomato sauce and green lentils bubbled in the skillet, salmon fillets purchased with the last of our funds baked in the oven. The house on the Cape was all windows. We were washed in greens and blues. I wrapped my legs around you and we slept on the basement couch. A spatter of creaking awoke us. You teased it was your Grandpa George, a Protestant pastor who died in his bed. The family labradoodle was named after him. Concealed in your arms, I stared at the hushed moon who swore up and down we were alone. When morning broke, we took trains to different cities so sweaty cash could find its way back into our palms. A muddy pileup of construction sits outside my apartment. There's no possibility of a haunting, the sounds are too obvious. At night, I pretend I get what I want. I want to bike all the way to Provincetown with you. I want to kneel in the big house with the wide windows and your grandfather's ghost and beg, give it back, give it all back. Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you for sharing. It was beautiful. We're going to have some music now. Can we have a Lewis Mason up here?
Yeah, Bob.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for this. This is the vibes.
Are you going to sit?
I told him to take.
That's not what you want. Boo. Move that cable around a little bit. Something's going on. Yeah. Oh, because you're going to the guy.
Yeah, we need
There we go. Hell yeah. Can you just jiggle the cord maybe? Make sure it's like it's tightened all the way. Sometimes it's not tightened.
I can do an acoustic if somebody has an acoustic.
No, we see all the other. How many inputs you gotta go through there? It's tightened? It's just the thing. I don't know. I could try to do it otherwise.
Yeah, one of them. You got yours, yeah. It's an acoustic?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an acoustic. Yeah. Do you have any?
Alright. So what's the budget?
Sorry about the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Take shots.
get Lewis Mason, everybody. Sorry about that.
Yeah, okay.
Doctor, won't you help me out of bed and save me from the thoughts inside my head? Every night I try to get away. I'm tired of feeling all alone again. I'm tired of waiting for this day to end. How I wish my dreams would come to stay. Doctor, please won't you come and take care of me? Doctor, please won't you come and take care of me? On the corner in your leather shoes, walking up and down the avenues. No flies on you, no nothing at all. Under cover of the city lights and under blankets of the winter nights, you are there for me whenever I call. Doctor, please won't you come and take care of me? Doctor, please won't you come and take care of me? I'll knock on your door when I need a little more. I'll knock on your door when I need a little more.
All right, Lewis Mason, everybody.
Do you have a band camp or anything we can check out?
Right now I'm just on Instagram. I'm recording an EP, and so just come talk to me about it. Thanks again.
Very good. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for Lewis. Beautiful music. Slowly the vibes. All right, let's get Alex Cole up here. We have Alex Cole in the house. Is there Alex Cole? All right.
I didn't realize you were playing all Thank you. I was like, oh, sorry. I was like, oh,
Really pissed me off. This table, some friends and you still
why does this always happen?
Your character now is completely.
Yes, besmirched.
Yeah.
Besmirched.
I keep putting it nicely.
Yeah. Here, I'll
Now you're being rude.
I'm just getting it. Everyone look at me.
good?
Yeah.
Say. Hi, I'm Alex. I just moved here 3 months ago.
Alright.
And I wrote this song about my first week in on a rooftop in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So it's called Cigarettes.
That's a good name for the song.
I can taste the last bit of your cigarette. Listening to you talk about your regret. The red in your hair is making me more and more aware. How come after all this everyone seems to disappear? You're across the ocean, and I still don't understand the motion. Trying to suntan with your Ray-Bans on. You ask me when my band goes on. I shrug and say I'm not sure. And you tell me I'm such a fucking bore. I'm trying to look at you, but the sun's in my eyes. I'm worrying about you, seeing through my disguise. Trying to understand what it takes to be a man. We're on the road with nothing left to do. You walked out the door, so I can't find you anymore. So this was the first song I wrote this year. I wrote it with my friend Abby Medina back in Maine about a very shitty relationship I was in. Yeah, one of those. The chorus, this is a faster, upbeat song. The chorus, if you want to jump in on and we rock the fuck out, I'm down for it. It's here we fucking go, how can you win? And this song is called Here We Fucking Go. The alcohol makes me forget the things I wanna remember. I don't know why I seem to fall in love in the summer. Do you think we'll make it through to December? I'm kind of hoping, but I know things don't last forever. These days I don't feel like surviving, and I feel like I'm walking on landmines. But you come to me trying to change my mind. But you're here now, so I guess I'll stay. And here it is. And then she tell me, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go.
Yeah.
Here we fucking go.
But after all this time, you still don't fucking believe me.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of you living in all of my daydreams. But you're fucking with my head while we driving your Mercedes. And then you tell me, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go.
Thank you.
Yeah, boy.
And as every musician, instead of going to therapy when COVID happened, I took up songwriting.
Yeah.
To hell with therapy. Open mic is therapy. This is our therapy now. It's free. It's a lot cheaper.
I feel a lot more attached to my mother now.
That's right, Vlad. That's why you're here. We're here to work out your Freudian deepest shit. That's what this open mic is about. That's why we're entertainers. Because of our parents, right? Great stuff. Alex Cole, everybody, just got to New York. Dreams already coming true. Thank you for performing.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Are you doing any shows or anything?
Not at the moment. I'm currently working on an EP in my closet.
Hell yeah. Like all great artists.
I'll come back.
All right. We look forward to having you back. Alex Cole, everybody. We're going to keep the music rolling. Can we get Luke Herberman up here? One of the stars.
I mean, I'm not getting any of the,
It's long enough to fucking feel it.
yeah, I'm not, Alfonso,
Not like that kind of niche thing where it's like.
Luke Herberman. I have a show November 9th at Pianos. I'll be playing with a full band. Guitar, keys.
right, no, I did. But I did get you.
Yeah. It worked out.
But tonight I'm playing for you at KGB Bar Red Room. Thank you to our host.
All right.
Buy some beer, drink up. That's what it takes to make a man feel so small. Love him, then leave him. If you want him to fall, he'll know what he's missing, and missing most of all. You can take the pain, accept it for now, and later you'll realize how much you found. And she took out her knife, and you dropped to the ground. And all was well, and all was fine. You didn't have to go out and erase my mind. No, I'm not fine, to tell you the truth. I'm caught in a net like a fish in the sea, only drowning because I have no guilt to breathe. In 15 days of running I've done to hide myself from everyone. In 15 nights of sleeping alone, having no one to hold in the dark and the cold. I feel stuck in the snow, locked in the white, surrounded by silence, not even light. You'd understand the dark things we fight. And I sit here and play my lonely guitar. Is it the one thing to keep me warm? It takes me far. Me and my songs, we are never apart. And all is well, and all is fine. You didn't have to go out and kill me like swine. No, I'm not fine, to tell you the truth. I'm about to get shot by the poacher's big gun. So I'm crying because my legs are worn and I cannot run. Yeah. 15 days of running I've done to hide myself from everyone. 15 nights of sleeping alone, having no one to hold in the dark and the cold. To hide myself from everyone, and 15 nights of sleeping alone, having no one to hold in the dark and the cold. Thank you. That was so really nice. Thank you for running the guitar. Yeah. anniversary show?
What day?
When? November 9th. It's a Wednesday. I'm on at 8 p.m.
Cool.
We got a full lineup for you.
Thank you.
Here's Herberman. Everybody. Sorry about we're having trouble with the board. There's something wrong with the board, so we're having some sound questions and distinct characteristics that we're dealing with. So let's keep it going. We have a open mic first timer, Ada Detski. Do we have Ada Detski in the house? Is Ada Detski still here, or?
I'll go first.
Sarah,
You want to go, Sarah?
do it.
All right, Sarah, let's get Sarah up here. Sarah and I matched on Hinge. Full disclosure, I'm sorry, I'm just going to come out and say it. I put the flyer for the open mic on my Hinge profile because I was getting better feedback on Hinge than any other social media. Sorry. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring this up in front of everybody.
No, this is our
Yeah, that's right, this is our date. This is our first date, everybody. So, have a big round of applause for Sarah.
sexy cook.
Yeah, he's right. We matched on Hinge. I saw his flyer and I was like, I have to come, and now I come every week. But yes, I'm available. So, my name is Sarah Maslandier, and I'm actually a news reporter. And I'm going to read an excerpt from one of my books. It came out in 2020 in the middle of the fucking pandemic. It's published by Simon & Schuster called Horse Crazy, and it's about my other passion, aside from journalism, which is horses. And you can't hear me at any venues. It's not how books work. But I have a few more books coming out starting this spring, some kids' books called Once Upon a Horse, also about horses. So this was an excerpt of Horse Crazy in the Times. This is from it. Horses talk, but not like Mr. Ed. A horse may be trained to respond to whoa and giddy up, but if you speak to a horse, you're not speaking in horse. They converse mostly through body language, and their most visible correspondence is a sign language of ears. Horses can flip and flick their ears 180 degrees. Ears pricked forward is a horse's smile. Tipped back can mean boredom or displeasure. Pinned to the skull, that's fury. Ears akimbo, and a horse is daydreaming, thinking nothing much or maybe everything. In the herd, horses turn and wheel across the field like larks, guiding each other with shoulder and flank, ear and eye. Observe the dynamics, the solicitousness of the studs, the defiance of the mares, the submission of the spindly foals. They are communicating non-verbally in a clear system of gestures. Monty Roberts, the legendary trainer and best-selling author known as the man who listens to horses, calls this system of correspondence equus. I've tried to stop calling it a language, he said to me. We think way too much about words and alphabets and stuff like that. That's not horses. Mr. Roberts, who is in his 80s, spoke to me from Flags Up Farm, his ranch in Sullivan, California, which he's run since 1966. He trains problem horses around the world using a technique he calls join-up, which essentially asks the horse to work with the rider as a member of its herd, rather than as its master. I had reached out to Mr. Roberts to learn how horses communicate, how prey animals stay safe in a world out to get them. But as our conversation unspooled, I realized I was asking the questions not to understand horses, my singular obsession since I was 2 years old, but to understand myself. Mr. Roberts told me he had a little shadow at his side. It was a West Coast mule deer he found still wet with amniotic fluid in a stand of grass, a runt with little chance of surviving. Raising the fawn deepened Mr. Roberts' understanding of how horses communicate. He views deers as an equine exemplar. To him, they are the raw, wild prey creatures hyper-attuned to their world for sheer survival that horses once were, before domestication bred the edge off. The Cervidae are equus at their most elemental. The deer's name was Benediction. I work with a lady in England named Elizabeth. She's the best namer of horses I ever met, Roberts said to me. So I emailed her and asked her what I would name him. She emailed right back. She didn't say I suggest or I think. She said his name is Benediction. I wondered where this little segue about naming a little slip of a mule deer was going. Was he 80 and losing his marbles? Then he landed the punchline. Queen Elizabeth sure can name a horse, he added, and a deer. What a horse does under compulsion, he does blindly. Thus wrote Xenophon, an ancient Greek cavalry master. And his performance is no more beautiful than would be that of a ballet dancer caught by whip or by goad. Far better, he wrote, that the horse should exhibit his own accord, should by his own accord exhibit finest airs and paces. A pupil of Socrates, Xenophon survived the battles of Sparta and died in 350 BC. His treatise on horsemanship is one of the earliest surviving works on the art of the equine. The majesty of men themselves is best discovered in the graceful handling of such animals, Xenophon wrote. I'd like to add, of women too. The phrase broke to ride before Xenophon, before Monty, used to mean the animal's spirit was broken, so the shell left behind would submit to human will. In modern equitation, the process is something more like recalibration. Done well, submission is rebranded as alliance, the mount as rider, a herd of two. You're telling, Monty Roberts has a lot to do with that shift. When his book came out in the 80s, a radical departure from the prevailing discipline, it earned him enemies. There were even death threats, Roberts said, leading to the arrest of at least one person. You're telling them everything they've done in their life is wrong, Roberts said to me, trying to make sense of why he was so hated for simply saying, be gentle. Through Benediction the Fawn, Roberts honed further his understanding of how horses communicate. Everything they're trying to find out, he told me, is one thing. The point is to answer one question. Is there danger? For a year of my life, Equus was my language. That is because on Thanksgiving Day, I too became prey. Dawn had not yet broken in my apartment in the West Village. I slept fitfully that night, zapped with excitement for the morning. It was my first time covering the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for the New York Times. As a child, I'd squished myself between the spectators to watch Snoopy and Popeye float down Central Park West. That day, notebook in hand, I would walk beneath my childhood icons in their shadows. In my dark bedroom, suddenly I felt a different shadow. Suddenly I was awake and I was fighting, squalling, kicking my legs as fists ascended into me over and over again. I was screaming, but my voice betrayed me and my throat made no sound. Deep inside, I heard a truth. This is not a fight you can win, Sarah. Find another way. I stopped fighting. The man in my bedroom smelled like smoke amplified, like 1,000 stubbed up Marlboros. He wanted cash, jewels, electronics, stuff, he told me, and instructed me to lie prone as he ransacked my home. I would survive, I decided right then, by being the most helpful victim of all time. Confined to my bed as he rooted around my house, he tried to find everything of value. I chided him to find a pen and get my ATM code and write it down so he could wipe out my savings and not forget. When he discovered the only valuables in my tiny apartment were a laptop, I cracked the New Yorkiest of jokes to appease him. You know how in Manhattan we spend all our money on real estate rent. The stranger had climbed through my second-story window, detectives would later tell me. I swear on my son's life I won't hurt you, he said to me when he was finished robbing me, and the lock clicked closed. That's when I realized he already had. Alone again, I lay in a pool of my own blood. It poured from a 4-inch wound in my leg. The man had stabbed me with a box cutter in that first brutal struggle. In the rush of adrenaline, I hadn't even noticed. It took the police one day to catch the man. He was sentenced to 17 years in prison. But suddenly I realized I was also trapped. New York's cacophony had been my childhood lullaby, but suddenly the city was loud, so loud, and suddenly I was hypervigilant to every sound. I had become the deer. Like a deer, my body was listening for him, for box cutters bared. Air conditioners were buzzsaws made scarier because their white noise blocked me from hearing any approach. The grind and hustle of the metropolis was a predatory screech telling me that nowhere was safe anymore. In horses, hyper-attunement to their environment helps keep them alive. Horses can hear us human and respond to our bodies, the pressure of our heel that says trot on. Everything they do, reading your intention through cortisol levels and pulse rates and adrenaline levels, that's how they're rideable. Reading that from afar is the way to survive, and they do it better than any human ever could, Monty told me. Reading it close up, a horse can feel the artery in your inner thigh pulse through the saddle. That's why they can be ridden, girl. During those loud days of my life, I found safety among horses, around those quiet beings. How did I learn to trust the world again? It was the same way a foal learns to stand. It just does. It gets up. It falls down. It gets up. It carries on, because it must, because that is living. Benediction means a blessing, and as I kept stumbling on, I felt less afraid and more keenly the blessing of being alive, still, even if it was just to stagger forward. On Thanksgiving Day the next year, I walked down Central Park West underneath Snoopy's big helium belly, notebook in hand. There, in the middle of the parade, the city was no longer so loud. Unlike a fawn or a foal, I realized that whether to live as prey was a choice I could make, not one made for me by a stranger in the dark.
Yes.
Sarah Near, everybody. Get the book Horse Crazy out from Simon & Schuster. That's right, Horse Crazy. Get unhinged, right? It works. Proof. It's the best dating app, definitely by far. But this is the best Hinge date I've been on since the pandemic. Definitely. All right, is Buttered Roll still here? Let's get Buttered Roll up here, everybody. Legendary poet. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. What's really good, y'all? My name is Buttered Roll. I'm a not so complex carbohydrate. I'm gonna read something for you guys. Before I do that, I'm gonna be slightly shameless. I also have a book. It is $15. It is self-published. It is called Disjecta Dismembra. 100% of the proceeds go to the Hoboken Homeless Shelter. This is called The Brand New End of Days. And welcome back to today's episode of The Brand New End of Days, your daily dose of impending doom. On today's episode, each and every single one of your worst fears will be materialized, placed into a shiny package, and fed to your 5 senses. There are plenty of package options if shiny is not your thing. Your free will to express yourself with our package options is important to us. Please, send us an email with your package preferences and your favorite fears, or simply manifest freely with your social media footprint, and our algorithm will do the rest. We are here to shiatsu massage your amygdala until the day ends for each of us. Folks, before the doom begins to impend, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our sponsors. Even the apocalypse requires adequate funding. We have 4 horses to feed. The sponsors are as follows: Systemic Turpitude, Passive Outrage, Misdirected Active Outrage, Shiny Well-Lubricated Carrots, Classical Conditioning, Hyperventilation, Nestle, Anal Pearl Clutching, and last but not least, Redacted. Folks, if I didn't say it before, welcome back to the brand new End of Days. I am your one and only host, and it's about to get terrifying. But before we can manipulate your emotions, we have to do some shopping. The only way to be adequately prepared for the onslaught is to exercise your autonomy as a consumer. Our comfort as consumers is a precious commodity, and we need to weaponize it in order to wage war with the things that we find frightening. Now, if you could all please take out your phones and visit the link that we have just sent to your spam folder, it will direct you to the brand new End of Days digital pop-up shop. Now, once you're inside of the digital pop-up shop, I would highly recommend that you take a second to enjoy the interior design. We have the most comprehensive air conditioning in the cosmos. You barely even notice it. Our houseplants are on the house, meaning that you can look at them for free. Browse for the next few minutes, and when you're ready to buy, just input all of your information and press the green button. The brand new End of Days pop-up shop has everything you could possibly need to mitigate your precisely programmed fears and attack all of the naturally occurring threats, such as werewolves. The brand new End of Days digital pop-up shop even sells silver bullets so you can silence the werewolves that are right outside your bedroom window, masturbating into the bushes that your mother gave you as a wedding gift. Your poor mother. God. We even figured out a way to weaponize your lethargy. With a brand new End of Days couch cannon, you can commoditize your sense of insecurity while in a nearly comatose state. And it goes without saying that none of this would be possible without the hyper-aggressive support of our sponsors. So please, do not forget to mention them amidst your bedtime meditations, as they will be listening. Folks, Folks, now that we have adequately weaponized your confusion, without further ado, it is time that we force feed you your fears skewered on the sharp end of a fabricated fork, shed the shiny packaging, here comes the hyperbolic horror, hurtling into your scare plane hangar. Don't forget to act as impulsively as possible, because it is worse than you could have possibly imagined. Boo. Folks, that's all we have for you tonight. Once again, please don't forget to pay homage to our sponsors that have generously weaponized and financed your fear conditioning. Do not forget to tune in tomorrow evening so we can describe to you exactly why you should be terrified of your own ecosystem. Thank you.
Buttered roll, bringing the fucking news. The truth. Thank you for that. Love the t-shirt. Please make your own t-shirts. Everybody. This is the university. Woo! I'm Matt Proctor. This is EC Paradise Open Mic Monday. 2 drink minimum. Let's keep it rolling for, have a big round of applause for Justin Kamp, everybody. Justin Kamp.
I am reading What's your name? Work in progress. Okay. I finished it earlier today, so just bear with me. It's called Glass House, or I don't know, probably Glass House. Sorry. The coach bus bathroom was the size of a closet, and rattling so intensely, I had to reach an arm out to keep myself up. Nausea was crawling up my throat, yanking at my organs like a lure, and so I hung my head over the bowl while thumbing the button, and I waited for my insides to fall out and into the constant blue swirl. Nothing would come up, so I went back to my seat and sat breathing, listening to the sound of driving, the hushed chatter of people I didn't know. Outside were hills, car dealerships, places to buy boats. North, out of the city, no place at all. Someone involved in the planning of this trip had been mistaken. They thought I was someone else when they invited me. Jason, they said, we'd love for you to join us in a special preview of our forthcoming exhibitions. There will be transportation provided, a cocktail hour, hors d'oeuvres, and the chance to get a guided tour of the glass house in New Canaan, led by the curator. I didn't know who Jason was, but I needed out of the city, and I needed to lie about something, so I responded. I'd love to cover your exhibition, I said. Warmly, Jason. And so I packed onto a bus outside the Citibank on 8th Avenue, wearing someone else's name, jostling in it, pulling at it like something small and ill-fitting. I had been intermittently seized the entire summer by intense bouts of nausea, always well in motion. I'd be on trains or walking towards the empty seats at the back of the bus, and suddenly my stomach would crawl up my throat, and I'd have to stand perfectly still, my eyes closed, and hope for some tantric miracle in my diaphragm that would prevent me from spraying sickness all over my surroundings. And then I'd leave whatever train or bus I was on and soon forget what had just happened to me. I'd kept it down inside, and so that sickness could soon dissolve back into the fiber of myself. I spent the whole summer forgetting things and not throwing up on trains. But now the nausea was back, and I was stuck here, surrounded by the press, pretending to be someone else, and I couldn't find a center. I closed my eyes, breathed, and tried to imagine a clean void where my stomach should be, but the bus quaked and quaked, and the structure inside of me did too. I thought it might finally happen. I'd throw up and be mired in the shame and smell of it, and everyone would come to know my deception, and then I'd wear a new identity, that of humiliation, of the guy who snuck onto a press trip and then puked. Are you okay? A voice asked from the seat across from me. A woman, maybe my age, had pulled her headphones down and was looking at me with a placid care. I just get car sick, I told her, which is something I forget about in the city. Me too, she said, which is why I usually take something before these trips. Who are you covering this for? I lie, say I have a couple places I could send it to, but I'm not sure yet. I couldn't tell if she believed this. Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this exhibition they have planned. It sounds so restorative, she said. They really think they're making a stand. I had no idea what she was talking about. But the conversation had worked in counter to the disaster in my stomach, and I felt a growing sense of calm. He was a Nazi, you know, she said. The architect. Oh yeah, long time, white supremacist, it's a whole thing. I had no idea what to do with this information, and so I said, oh, right. I don't know, she said. I do think it means something that they're at least talking about it. We were talking about it, I thought, and now I had another fact inside of me. The glass house was built by a Nazi. It fell with a thud in my brain. She asked me my name, and I tell her my fake one. I don't know, it was just something I did. By the way, she said, reaching into a bag and pulling out a pill bottle. This is what I take. It's like Xanax, basically, but like less. She rattled the bottle and dropped one into her hand. If you need it, you know, here. Fuck it, I'm not me. I took the pill from her and pocketed it and told her that I'd probably need it later, and thanked her and let our conversation dissipate. The bus pulled into the campus driveway, inching down paved pinbacks until we reached the grounds. The house, small, nearly invisible, a floating roof. There was a pool of water outside, wild turkeys quartering off down a hill and through mist to a pond where a gazebo floated. There was rain, and it made me believe in ghosts. We were outside for just a bare moment before crowding into the Nazi home, filling it with our bodies and our breath. I stood at the edge of our mass, near some couches, but was told to move because the rug I was standing on was an heirloom, a priceless antique. So I stood near one of the glass walls, looking out, trying to fog it with my breath to make the inside match the outside's thick curtain of mist. The turkeys were still there, and they zagged in a waveform across the lawn. The curator, a man seemingly born into his sweater, squeezed through the crowd and cleared his throat to get everyone to quiet before cataloging the exquisite things all around us. There was the hallowed couch and rug, bought by the architect himself, complete with original cigarette burns from the architect and his friends. There was a priceless Poussin painting, made directly on board and used as a divider between the untouchable living room and the bedroom. He led the group past the divider, and we swarmed and wove through the space. There was a small bed, an original Annie Albers quilt thrown across it. Please do not sit on the bed, he chimed. Priceless, priceless. I lingered near the windows, a vague boiling starting again in the pit of myself. He then led us to the bathroom, small, chimney-like, a green column in all this glass. The group rotated through this too, and I lingered behind, waiting for everyone to leave the small circle before looking down into the toilet, up at the peeling leather tiles on the ceiling, wondering if I could finally yank this sickness out of me in a straight line, a quivering column of myself here in this bathroom in the glass house. Instead, I fished the pill out of my pocket and swallowed it dry. Everyone else was gathered in the main space near the bar to listen to the curator describe the exhibition. There were glasses lined up, shining, red, topped with sprigs of rosemary, and I took one. There would be a performance, it seemed, to symbolically counteract the hatred of the architect. The curator gestured toward the area we had just walked through and said that performers would make their way through the space in rejection of the architect. He then gestured out the windows toward some distant garden. There were flowers there, he said, and they symbolized inclusiveness. I finished my drink, picked up another one. Things were smoothing. The rain was still going, so we were hemmed inside. We couldn't go see the inclusive flowers, and the room began to feel as if it were flexing. Everyone was circulating, drinking the red cocktails, talking louder and louder. There was a problem with the hors d'oeuvres. They wouldn't be ready for a while longer, and that added a layer of anxiety. People were getting drunk. They weren't eating. The glass room seemed to be growing facets, sharpening at the edges. I found the woman from the bus near one of the walls and sidled up next to her. She was looking down at the pond where the turkeys ran and the gazebo floated near the shore. The architect built it that way on purpose, she said. He didn't want to connect to the land because there was something erotic, he said, in the leap. You had to leap to the gazebo. I drained another drink, looking out through the mist at the gazebo. I was about to say something, but I lost it. And then I was suddenly spewing, a thick stream of red pouring out of me, splashing onto the window, running down, pooling at my feet and soaking in the cigarette-burning priceless carpet. I staggered backwards, not feeling my feet. I could almost find a center, but that small glass room seemed to have canted, and I reached my hands out to find something. I pulled the poussin down to the floor with me and coughed out more red, feeling it splash back on myself. The room flexed. I was at its center, suddenly the only thing in all this quiet. Someone helped me to my feet. Other people were propping up the poussin, some were getting towels. Most had left the room and stood outside staring in. I stumbled over to the bedroom. There was a remarkable emptiness to me now. I was a clean, spare void, an empty structure. I peeled back the priceless quilt, crawled into the small bed, and slowly shapes began to spin up out of sleep, and I was briefly comfortable.
Yeah.
Justin Tramp, everybody. Bring your autograph. Is that published anywhere, or you're reading that out of a damn spiral notebook? That's wild. Thank you for sharing. We gotta publish that. Somebody. The Drift. What are you downtown? How many people here on ketamine? Times Square. Get that guy at Kenmar, that magazine stand that Chase McCauley's talking about, where you get the smokes and it's, I mean, Jesus, that's great stuff. Thank you for sharing.
Good story.
Yes. The autofiction. Bring it here. Bring stories about your life. Let's get Sean Conrad up here. Is Sean Conrad in the house? I have no idea. I think so, yes. Have a big round of applause for Sean Conrad. We're going to get to everybody.
Thank you. Guys, keep it over your host. Yeah. What is up, New York City? A slight shift in energy. I can do poetry.
Yeah.
Listen. I think condensed milk should just be called
So true.
Thank you. I really needed you to laugh at that. Having a rough week. I found an Uncrustables PB&J under my bed. Turns out those things can become crustable. This is a good audience. I would know. I was heckled this week. Somebody said I look like Armenian Harry Potter. Yup. No scar on my forehead, just scars emotionally. And they weren't even Armenian. They just are mean. What do you guys think my ethnicity is? Do you hear that silence? That's the right answer. Congrats. We shouldn't shout races in 2022. I'm just regular white. Sorry. When my friends just found this out, they were disappointed. So I told them this story, which is true. Which is my mom thinks my grandma had an affair with a Hispanic man named Jose, which made me a quarter Mexican. And they were just like, nah man, you're regular white and your grandma's a whore. Oh wait, you don't give it up for sloozy grandmas, New York? I thought we were a woke crowd. What's going on over here, miss? Well, she's not paying attention. In her mind, this is Netflix.
Grandma lived through World War II.
Your grandma lived through World War II?
Was she slaughtering it up back then?
I don't understand the premise. If your grandma served, thank you for her service. I've actually been making shirts for veterans. Thank you. With one armhole. They're called amputees. We are here. We are alive. How does it feel?
Yeah.
Thank you. We got any couples in the audience? I'm pretty lonely.
Exactly.
Pay my palm reader just to hold my hand. She's like, your hands are callous. You play guitar, work out? It's like, nah, I just eat a lot of pistachios. Women. The one nut I can't crack. Yeah. The jokes get funnier the longer you think about them. I moved to New York for comedy. My first job was as a janitor at a comedy club. It's like the plot to Good Will Hunting. Except for instead of being a math genius, I just sucked at comedy. This is true. I had to wear a uniform, and on the back it said, clean like an artist. My boss was a micromanager. One time he came up to me while I was mopping. He's like, hey man, you missed a spot. I was like, nah man, that's art. Abstract expressionism. The wildest thing about that job is I started as the janitor. I became the manager. They didn't give me a raise. They didn't let me stop being the janitor. I was a janitor manager. You know how artists get respect as the manager when you're also the janitor? One time the bartender got so drunk they vomited, and I was like, hey man, can you not throw up at work? And he was like, hey man, can you mop up my throw up? Alright, I've been Sean Conrad. You guys are lovely. Keep it going for your host.
Sean Conrad. Comedy, comedy, comedy. We're going to keep it going with the laughs. Get ready to yuck it up with King of Comedy, Eric Walsh, everybody. Hey! Woo!
Oh no. Hello, hello.
Not that long ago.
My name is Eric Walsh. My parents have normal-sized necks. What happened with me is one time I accidentally took a Viagra pill and it got stuck in my throat. I am 6'4", but it's a lot more fun telling people I'm 6'1". Because when I'm asked how tall I am by a guy who's like 5'10", when I tell him I'm 6'1", he's absolutely devastated. I'm from Connecticut, obviously. And I went to a very good college. I'm not going to say which one, but it's top 3. You know, Harvard, Yale, University of Wisconsin. I wasn't in a fraternity at Wisconsin. I was in something much better. I was in the investment banking club. Investment banking club's a mouthful, so we just use the acronym IBC. And let me tell you, IBC and no women. I did end up dabbling in finance. I had 2 full-time jobs on Wall Street. One was being an investment banking analyst, and the other was telling people I was an investment banking analyst. I remember one time we had a meeting, and one of the guys started pounding his chest like he was Leo from Wolf of Wall Street. And soon enough, one by one, people joined in pounding their chests until the entire team realized the first guy was choking. When I first moved to the city, I joined a bowling league. But they told me I needed to add 5 friends to form a team. Which is ridiculous, because why would I join a bowling league if I already had 5 friends? I do have a lot of friends. You should see my Excel spreadsheet. I live in a pre-war building, Revolutionary War. It's been rent stabilized for a while, so I only pay 48 shillings a month. I'm trying to get some artwork for my apartment though, so I commissioned a painter. I got 2 paintings. One is a portrait of myself, and the other is a self-portrait of the painter. So now when people come over to my apartment and say, Eric, that's an awesome portrait of you, who painted it? I just go, this guy. The only problem I have with my apartment is my bathtub. Yeah, I take baths. I take my baths very seriously. No bubbles, no bullshit. My bath is made of porcelain, so my buddies call me the Porcelain Prince. PP for short. Which also stands for phenomenal posture. Because I sit in the bathtub at a perfect 90-degree angle. I look like I'm driving a go-kart.
Nice.
I've been trying to improve my jawline lately, so I've been going to sleep wearing a ball gag. Nothing too fancy though, just your textbook red ball gag. Khakis in the streets, ball gag in the sheets. The only nice thing about having to wear the COVID mask in public during the pandemic is I also got to wear my ball gag in public. Khakis in the streets, ball gag also in the streets. I love table for one dinners, and I also love hibachi. So one time I got table for one hibachi. Do you have any idea how exhausting table for one hibachi is? I caught 46 shrimp. I looked like a pelican. I think people today have truly lost the art of good conversation. I don't want to hear about your transformative experience studying abroad in Madrid. I want to hear what you think about my semester in Barcelona. When I was in Barcelona, I had this idea. You tell me what you think. I think every Speedo should have a built-in bulge. A training bulge. The logic behind it, there's a lot of kids that are insecure about wearing the Speedos and they end up quitting swimming. So by standardizing the bulge, that way the kids can focus on the prize, not the size. All I'm trying to say is, I think I could have been a really good swimmer. My name's Eric Walsh. Thank you very much.
Eric Walsh, that is a tight five right there. Are you doing any dates coming up, any club dates or anything? No! You can't even fucking see this guy if you want to. You have to come to Open Mic Monday, so you're in the right place. If you want to sign up, Easy Paradise Mag on Instagram. Get into the DMs. We're going to get some music going on here. Hopefully you guys are ready for that vibe. I think maybe while the music's going on, if you want to get up and get a drink, that might be a cool kind of background thing. I think that might be socially acceptable, but let's have some big applause for Flannery Thaiss, everybody. Flannery Thaiss.
I'll get this one. All right. There we go. This is I like the exact like a what?
Hey,
yeah, it's kind of. That one's kind of being a piece of crap. You want to? Yeah.
I'm Flannery Thaiss. Yeah, it's great being out here. Tons of talent. Really enjoying seeing everybody.
Yeah.
impossible dreams come true, and we can make nightmares too. We salivate at the scene of a crime and open our arms, it's warm inside. I'm gonna call heaven home someday. A jukebox slots everything fine. Go turn up the sublime. We got people like Zenny B, whose fortune rests by me. She'll carve your name into her skin and wrap a bow around you to begin. I'm not gonna change, I'm gonna do what I do still. I'm gonna call heaven home someday. A jukebox slots everything fine. Oh, gold drips into the wine. A pagan, a vegan too. We've been known to take a few. I know I don't know much about you, but join us if that's what you really want to do. And we need a place with some space. Might feel a little bit of grace. Gonna call heaven home someday. The jukebox slots everything fine. Oh, no breezes in mine. Whether it's pure black gold or gray, I'm gonna call heaven home someday. Jukebox slots and everything fine. A cool breeze in mine.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to be playing tomorrow night at the Hard Swallow, which is I think just up the street on First Ave. I think.
Yeah.
I go on at 10:30. Here's another tune.